Fiji and Tonga, folks. International rugby this weekend. 36 points to 20. A lot of tries in this game. We'll go through some key events. Sadly, no stats. None of the sites that usually do the stats are doing stats for this one. But some of the try scorers and opinions and whatnot. And you guys can let us know your thoughts. So, from Lautoka, this one in Fiji. Great crowd, great weather. We've kind of come to expect that from Fiji. I'll have to convince my wife to go there at some point. Not that I think she'll take much convincing because it looks like a hell of a place to watch some rugby. Early chance though for Fiji, and boy did they start out of the blocks fast. Like Rato Wavada looking to kind of get intercept ball on a Fekitoa pass, setting up a good chance for the Fijians, but they can't quite get it early. But man, does it not take them long to get on the board. 6 minutes. Penalty try with them all going close. Yellow card for the Tonga guys, so it's 7 points to 0. Like a minute later, Nayata Levu, he goes between Takalua, I think it was Taumoipio, in the midfield for Tonga. Really poor defence. Tonga are looking shell-shocked. Conversion hits the post, but 12-0. And then another maul try. This time it goes over kind of more legit-wise. It doesn't need to go to a penalty try. So it's 19 points to 0 with Matsavesi going over on 11 minutes, so it's like even faster than that All Black start against South Africa the other day. The Fijian guys are just on fire. This is looking like it could get pretty embarrassing. However, the Tongans, to their credit, man, didn't take too long to turn that shell-shocked state of affairs into a bit of momentum for themselves. I mean, they had their first chance on 13 minutes with a maul. Eventually they go wide. It looks like Solomon Akata might have been able to go over on the wing, but he's just got a foot in touch, but they go back for an advantage. And then Tonga go again, man. This time they do go over. Mailea, the hooker, he's able to go over from the maul. They did well to win it in the air because it was a pretty tricky one to win, but they did it. They keep possession, and they get 5 points on the board. The conversion's a real stinker, but man, 5 points after having conceded 3 quick tries is great news for Tonga. And kind of all starts from a poor Fijian kickoff receipt, so they'll be cursing that aspect of the game, which lets Tonga back into it. And Tonga keep that momentum going, man. They get their second 5 minutes after they got their first one, so it's an absolute kind of 180 in terms of the way the game was being played. I mean, this one is Solomon Akata again. Like, he was really, really fired up and seemingly pretty mad. He wins a penalty at the breakdown, and then sets up Tonga with some field position. They're able to go through some phases. Then Leva Fafita is able to just power over in one that I think the Fijian guys will look back at and go, man, how did we let him over? But I mean, he's a big unit of a man. 19 points to 12. And then Tonga get 15 unanswered points when they kick a penalty. So what can I say? A good kick, a goal. And the game's gone from looking to be an embarrassing one to Fiji suddenly being under the pump, and Tonga are right breathing down their necks. They maybe got a bit of the momentum back to the Fijian guys when Levani Botia managed to win a penalty at the breakdown on their own goal line on 28 minutes. So that was probably a kind of roadblock for the Tongans to keep that momentum going. And then Tuisue starts getting some big carries. I seem to remember him flattening Fekitoa at one point. Lots of Fijian pressure before halftime. Looks to have been snuffed out by Ben Tamiafuna winning a penalty at the breakdown, kind of similar to what Botia did earlier for Fiji. However, Fiji are still able to convert that pressure back into points despite that breakdown win from Big Ben. And it's that man, Tui Sova, who was able to get a try right before halftime. He is such a big old unit, isn't he? It was that man, Ratuma Vara, the left winger, again to Botia, who gets it to Tui Sova. I think he goes around Fekitoa, and man, 26-15 at halftime. So it's been proper momentum swings in that first half. It's really pleasing to see. Second half is maybe not quite as electric. There's a few kind of knock-ons and whatnot, which I think both sides will be a little bit frustrated with. I mean, Fiji looked the better of the second half, but Tonga were the first ones to score, actually, to kind of bring it back within kind of a game moment. It's that man who's just come off the bench as well, the substitute outside back, Taumoi Folau, 47 minutes. That one was a nice bit of a white ball. Pietau with the final pass gets the old try assist from that one. So, yeah, good one. I think slightly against the run of play, but that makes it 26-20 for Fiji still in front. But again, that's proper game on, and it's a bit of a scary scoreline for Fiji. And Fiji were starting to look a bit rattled, man. They'll be pleased to get this kind of game out of the way where they got a bit of rust to shake off, I think, clearly. Like some loose ball on their own line. Tonga were a bit over-eager trying to win a penalty or like trying to force a turnover when Fiji were kind of scrambling. Miley conceded a penalty, so let the Fijian guys off the hook a little bit. And then another Fijian error, the fullback, Mangala, he messes up a Tongan little grubber through to put his team under pressure again. It leads to a 5-meter scrum for the Tongan guys. Tonga get advantage. So they scrum, and then from that scrum, the ball just pops out and the Fijians are able to pounce on it. So I think that's a key moment. If Tonga are able to kind of convert that pressure into points, either go a point behind or potentially in front, who knows? But that's a real chance missed. And then Fiji, I think, take control back of the game. Radra's come on and he's trying for his life to get the ball to Tuisova. The first one kind of hits his ankles and he knocks it on. The second one, he overcompensates and it goes above his head. But Tuisova is able to rein it in. But then Taumoipea with the big kind of try-saving tackle puts him into touch. But Tuisova made some guys look pretty silly, man. Was it Pellegrini? The guy had come off, he just got flattened. One of his first actions in international rugby is to tackle Joshua Tuisova. Goodness gracious, rather him than me. 67 minutes, Fiji take a kickable penalty to take it beyond that 6-point lead. So it's a 2-score lead. Muntz with the kick, and he had a line break earlier to kind of set up that bit of field position. So smart play from Fiji because the hands weren't there. They were creating the opportunities, but not that finishing edge. So I think smart one to take the penalty. Tonga had another chance on 71 minutes with a 5-meter tap. They absolutely needed to score to get back within that kind of striking distance. They couldn't. They have a soft kind of knock on at the back of the ruck. Just hits the back of some guys' feet. So once that happened, the game was well and truly done. Because remember, it's 29-20 at that point, so it's still 2-score lead. And then the Fijians, with a bit of an icing on the cake one, at the death, Matawalu is able to dot the ball down from the back of a big Fijian scrum, which had advantage. So, yeah, that makes it 36-20. The game does go on after that final try, but, yeah, there's nothing really doing from it. It just gets a bit messy. The Tongan guys have got a line out goes not straight. Everyone thinks the game's over. The ref says the game can't end on not straight. So they set a scrum, and then the Fijian guys kick it out. So, yeah, there you go, folks. Both these teams getting into the swing of things for the World Cup. We look forward to seeing Samoa head over to Japan shortly. As I said, I did look for stats for this game. Couldn't find any on the usual sources. I even checked World Rugby's website, but last I checked, World Rugby didn't even have the Fijian lineup. All their players were listed as TBC, like to be confirmed. They had the Tongan lineup, but not even the Fijian player names listed, which is bad. Anyway, I don't know who needs to chuck money to get the stats for these games, but there don't seem to be any. I would love to see them, but anyway, you guys have any thoughts? I would say knock-ons were a bit high. Is probably the one stat that both sides will be looking to kind of tidy up on. But anyway, you guys let us know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.